What's up, everybody? Peter McCarthy here, and today's guitar lesson is going to be focusing on Jimmy Page's guitar solo and the breakdown section of Whole Lotta Love, of course. And it's a great guitar solo to dissect if you're just coming into the blues or pentatonic scales. You probably hear me use the word vocabulary a lot. So it has a great set of vocabulary, blues phrase licks that you can use and learn from. So let's just jump right in. The song's in the key of E, and the band is playing in between the breaks an E chord twice. So it figures that it would be E pentatonic, and it's E minor pentatonic. There's a couple passing tones that I'm going to point out to you along the way. So the very first phrase, I'll play it full speed, and then I'll break it down for you. Okay. Okay, that's the first one. And what you do is you go into the 12th position. That means your first finger stays in the 12th fret, and it's form 1 of the minor pentatonic. That's the one we're talking about, okay? And you bend the third finger is on the 14th fret of the G string. You bend that note, and you play 12, 12 on the B string, and then the top high E string. And then you pull off on the B string's 15th fret to 12. Okay, and then you pull off on the G string 15, 14 to 12, like this. Okay, and then you play 14, 12 on the G string, and then bend 14. Okay, one more time, slowly connected. Okay, form 1. The one note that was outside of form 1 is this 15th fret. That's the flat 5 blue note, passing note. Okay, and the second phrase at normal speed. Okay, breaking that down slowly. This is using the same fingering, but down 12 frets in the open position. Okay. That B note right there, the 4th fret of the G string, it's also, as you know, your B string open can substitute. So here's what you do. Slide your third finger from the 2nd fret to the 4th on the G string. And then you play 3 on the B string. And then on the G string, it's 4, 2, open. Do that 3 times. Okay? And then on the D string, 2, open. Do that twice. Okay, now you're only going to pick that note once, though. Okay, you pick it here, pull off, hammer, pull off, and then you wind up playing the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So one more time, slowly connected. Okay, the third lick in the scale, in the solo, goes back up to the 12th position. Again, first finger, 12th fret, box 1 or form 1 of the minor pentatonic. So the phrase is a lot like the first one you learned. Bend 14 on the G string. Oh, I'm sorry, one time regular speed. Okay, breaking that down. Bend 14 on the G string. And then play 12 on B, 12 on the high E. Then bend 15 on the B string twice and hold it. And then underneath, play the 15th fret of the high E string. And then bend 15 again. Let me try that one more time. Okay. Just a short little side excursion here. You're going to want to, if you're a guy that bends with your pinky, you're going to have to figure out some alternative way to play some of these licks. This one and then the last one in the song. So I would suggest you don't bend with your pinky. And I would also suggest that if you're just getting into bending and playing blues and rock guitar, that when you bend a string, you have at least one finger behind the note that you're bending. And that's so that you'll have much better control over the bent note, and you'll be able to apply vibrato to it a lot easier than trying to bend it with one finger. Okay, so if we're going to make a rule out of it, let's just say no one finger bends. That's exception would be if you're bending with your first finger, but that's a different story. So one more time, back on this lick slowly. Okay, now you go up to form 3 of the minor pentatonic scale. That means your first finger is going to be in the 17th fret, 17th position, and you play on, 1 time regular speed. Okay, slowly you play in the 17th position. You play 17th fret on the B string, and then 20th fret on the B string, and then you bend that note, and you're going to bend that 2 steps. Okay, now that's the equivalent of 4 frets. So if you had 23 frets, that would be the note that you would reach. Or maybe you have a 24 fret guitar. You could check yourself. But really, that's the bend. And so again, it's 17 on the B string, 20 on the B string, and you bend 2 steps. You come down to 17 on the B string, 19 on the G string, and then 20 and 17 on the B. One more time on this riff, connected, slowly. Okay, now that 2-step bend is kind of another example to the point of what I was making earlier. It would be really difficult to try to do that just shoving that note with 1 finger. So give that some thought. And the next phrase, see where I left off, okay, is the 3rd form, again, of the minor pentatonic scale. Let me play it full speed. Okay, now to break that down, your first finger is in the 17th fret on the B string. You play that. Then on the top string, you bend 19. A full step bend. Now bring it down. 19, 18, 17, and then slide that to 15. And then you play that's 17 on the B string, 15 on the top string, back to 17 on the B string. So one more time on that, connected, slowly. I think the last phrase in the solo, after that, and that is going back to this 3rd position of the minor pentatonic scale. You know what? I'm sorry. Let me back up a second. I forgot to point this out. That 1 note is outside that's the flat 5 blue note. Again, same passing note that Jimmy Page was using earlier, right? So just in case you hear that and you say, hey, wait a second, that note isn't. That's the flat 5 passing note called the blue note. Now, so getting back to the solo. First finger on the 17th fret, B string. You play 17, so one more time, full speed. Now slowly, you play 17 on the B, 19 on B. Bend. And you hear the bend go up higher 3 different times. You're getting 3 kind of distinct notes out of that. And what it is to me, what I'm hearing is you're bending a step, and then a little more than a step, and then a step and a half. And that might seem like a really easy thing, but there's a lot of control that you need to have in your left hand in order to do that. So if you're bending with your pinky, I don't really know that you would be able to do it at all. So getting back to 2 slight rules, okay? So hopefully you got something out of this breakdown of the solo. And it was helpful for me and for you to have me point out the little boxes. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe. And don't forget to go to petermccarthy.net for some downloads on it and a lot more. Hey everybody, Peter McCarthy lessons. Back. I wanted to give you a quick run through on the signal chain that you heard me recording that solo with. And obviously you heard me was playing a Les Paul guitar into it was plugged into an Echoplex EP3 tape echo with just a little bit of quick slap on it, and into this amplifier here. This is a 73 Marshall amp. And let me give you the rundown on it. The treble was up on 8, the bass was on about 1, the mid-range was on just a little bit over 2, and the treble was up on 8. these two volumes, if you're familiar at all with the 4-input amplifiers, the older Fenders or Marshall 4-input amps, because of the caps involved on these two pots, most people call this the treble input and the bass input over here, and these volumes correspond to those. And you know, when you jump the channels on these amps, you can get you can really get a shade of a lot of different sounds. So this volume was on just over 4, and this one was on a little bit under 4. And the amplifier was running through a 212 cab with 2 American reissue greenbacks from their Greenbrae speakers. So what I also decided to do was I used 2 microphones on the cabinet, and intentionally I put them a little bit out of phase with one another. And what you get by doing that is you lose a lot of your bass and the meat of the sound, and you get more honk and screech, you know. And when I say that, that sound on Led Zeppelin 2 sounds to me like it's exploding from the speaker. And it sounds honky and screechy, not in a bad way at all, in a great way. And so I decided to experiment a little bit with that, and so that's what you were hearing. Give that a shot if you're into recording guitars, as I am. It was a lot of fun to do that. And just a little bit more my observation, you know, when you hear Zeppelin 2, it sounds to me like the guitar solo is entirely on the right side of the stereo field. Here, put headphones on. You don't really hear the solo in the left, which is amazing. But you might hear a little faint reverb in the left. I forget. It's been a while. But rather than me panning the entire guitar all the way right, I did put it quite a bit right, and I placed, you know, so I placed it not entirely. I didn't think that would balance out right on a computer if you're viewing this video. So anyway, there you have it, the signal chain and some of the recording techniques that I tried to employ. And I'm certainly not saying that I nailed Jimmy Page's sound, but I had a lot of fun trying. So the amplifier and the equipment rundown, hopefully you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I hope to see you guys soon. Please come on back. Check out petermccarthy.net for some more guitar lessons. See you soon. Take care.